Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new Halacha for it. It's for Thursday, the 11th of February, which is the 29th day of SHVAT, which should remind you that the 30th of SHVAT, Friday, is going to be Rosh Chodesh. So Thursday night, Friday, it's Rosh Chodesh, and also Friday night, Shabbos, it's Rosh Chodesh, and that marks the first day of Adar. 2-day Rosh Chodesh, Thursday night through to the end of Shabbos. Okay, now this Shabbos is also going to be very special because it's going to be Parsha Shkalim. Okay, I'll explain that really quickly. Parsha Shkalim is a special parsha that we read either before Rosh Chodesh Adar or on Rosh Chodesh Adar, like this year, and that's because Shkalim were collected at this time of the year, from which all of the karbanos of the coming year, the karban tzibur of the entire year, would be taken from. It was done at this time of the year. Unfortunately, we don't have our Beis Hamikdash in this whole system, so the very least we could do is learn about it and learn about it. So we read about how the shkalim are collected, half shekel from every Jew, and that's how it's all put together and used for the sacrifices of the congregation, so that everybody had a share in them. Okay, long story short, we're going to have 3 Torahs taken out this Shabbos. One for the regular Parsha, and one for, the next one will be for Rosh Chodesh, and the next one will be for Parsha Shkalim. Now, interestingly, I have a halacha to tell you about a little mix-up that could happen. Let's say they finish reading out of the Torah where they read Mishpatim, and then by mistake they bring up onto the Shulchan the third Torah, the one that's supposed to come third, the one that has Parsha Shkalim all prepared for it. And they realize that they made a mistake. So what do you do? Depends when they realized it. If they realized it before they made the bracha or anything, they were just getting ready to think about starting using that third Torah instead of the second Torah. Hope I'm not mixing you up. If they realized before anything got going, then according to the Mishnah Berurah, others argue, but we'll stick with the Mishnah Berurah. According to the Mishnah Berurah, you take that third Torah and put it back aside, and you say wait, and you bring up the second Torah, the one for Rosh Chodesh. That should startle you a little bit, because we usually have a rule that we don't set aside mitzvos, but the Mishnah Berurah says that in this occasion we would take the third Torah, the one for Shkalim, and tell it you have to wait. Rosh Chodesh has to come first. It's done more commonly, and the common things come first. That's what the Mishnah Berurah said. But if it happens that they already made the bracha, and they started to read from the third Torah, and they read Shkalim, and someone screams, no, Rosh Chodesh. So now it's too late. You started reading from the third Torah, you continue on from the third Torah, and then you'll have to go back afterwards and read from the second Torah, and then read the Rosh Chodesh reading that you're supposed to read from that Torah. The question, if that mistake would happen, and they actually had to read third Torah second and second Torah third, which of Torah would they recite? So there are some rabbis that say in that situation you would actually read the Rosh Chodesh Haftorah, because the Haftorah always has to fit with what was leaned out of that last Torah. So yeah, I hope this isn't going to happen. Your Shullah probably won't, but just interesting for you to know these details. Thanks for logging on. Have a very good Chodesh, and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.